Yo, this is Joshua from Worth Your Time, and today we gotta talk about vampire crawlers, because honestly, this game surprised the hell out of me. Okay, when I first started playing vampire crawlers, I was like, alright, this seems mildly entertaining, I guess. So I figured, why not give it a shot? And give it a shot, I definitely did. Do you remember those days of going into GameStop and seeing that giant bargain bin full of random $10 games? And your mom tells you you can pick one game from the bin. And immediately you're just sitting there like, man, all I wanted was the new Call of Duty. But every once in a while, you'd end up finding something in that bargain bin that completely surprised you. And honestly, that's exactly what Vampire Crawlers feels like. The biggest thing this game gets right is momentum. From the moment I booted up the game, it immediately threw me into the action. And weirdly enough, I really appreciated that. The tutorial was simple, easy to understand, and taught me pretty much everything I needed to know without dragging things out for an hour. I've played a lot of roguelites over the past few years, and at this point, it's probably become one of my favorite genres. Usually I just want something I can jump into for a little bit without feeling locked in for the entire day. Ironically, those are usually the games I end up accidentally playing for like 8 hours straight anyway. At one point, I was constantly searching for co-op roguelites just so I could drag my best friend into suffering with me. But lately, I've calmed down and look for more single-player ones because he definitely does not love the genre as much as I do. But I still keep convincing him to try every now and then. And usually, that's how you know a game is doing something right. With that being said, Vampire Crawlers is easily one of my favorite games in the genre. It's fun, challenging, and constantly encourages experimentation. Every character actually felt unique. Obviously, I had my favorites. And yeah, some characters definitely felt stronger than others. But even then, each one still felt different enough that I wanted to try new builds and weird strategies. And the progression system? I absolutely loved it. During runs, you're constantly earning money, and that money feeds back into basically everything. Leveling skills, unlocking characters, adding card slots, upgrading rarity, downgrading rarity, and slowly trying to create the most absolutely broken setup imaginable. There's just so many little systems constantly feeding into each other. Even learning the combat mechanics ended up being fun. The combo system especially stood out to me. The higher your combo gets, the stronger your damage becomes. So naturally, your brain starts going, okay, how do I keep this combo alive? Then suddenly you're hunting for cards, abilities, and synergies that keep the momentum rolling. And that's where the game really hooked me. It constantly felt like there was another layer to discover. And absolutely deleting a boss with some giant combo chain? Yeah, that feeling never really got old. Seeing that massive combo counter climbing up the side of the screen while everything explodes around you? Man, it just feels good.
What, Ultra?
But if I had to narrow everything down to one thing, Vampire Crawlers is just fun. And weirdly enough, I think modern games sometimes forget how important that actually is. Now, obviously, this isn't some perfect hidden masterpiece or anything. You can definitely start feeling the repetition kick in after a while, but to be fair, you could probably say that about most roguelites. Still, one thing that definitely left me wanting more was enemy variety. Each area does have its own themes and different monster types, which helps keep things fresh for a bit, but eventually I started wishing the game threw a few more surprises at me. And speaking of surprises, one thing I actually really liked were these random, unique encounters. Sometimes you'd just be casually walking forward, minding your business, then, out of nowhere, some weird side boss would pull up on you like one of the zombies from Michael Jackson's Thriller. And every single time, I'd just be sitting there like, Stuff like that honestly made the game feel way more alive. The problem is, during my entire time playing, I think I only saw those encounters like once or twice. And man, I really wish the game leaned harder into that idea, because those moments were genuinely memorable. There's also definitely a ceiling to the experimentation. The game encourages build variety and trying new setups, but eventually you do hit that point where you've kind of seen most of what the systems have to offer. And for some people, the visuals might honestly be a deal breaker. Personally, I didn't mind the art style at all. If anything, I actually kind of liked it, but I can absolutely understand why it wouldn't click with everyone. Same thing with the music. It's not bad or anything, it just never really stuck with me the same way music from games like Kingdom Hearts or Persona does. And I think that's important to mention because everybody values different things in games. For example, this game doesn't really have that massive long-term depth you might get from something like Elden Ring, or the huge world building and storytelling of Persona 5. And if those are the kinds of experiences you mainly look for in games, then Vampire Crawlers honestly might not be for you. And that's completely fine. Vampire Crawlers never tried to be some massive AAA experience. It's a $10 game. And truthfully, I'd gladly pay every single penny again. Because at the end of the day, this game is just straight up addicting. Like, alright, one more run before bed. Then suddenly it's 2 a.m. and you're questioning every life decision you've ever made. But more importantly than that, this game never really feels like it's wasting your time. And nowadays, I think that matters more than ever. Especially when so many modern games are constantly trying to nickel and dime players while stretching 20 hours of content into a 100-hour experience. Vampire Crawlers doesn't really feel like that. It knows exactly what kind of game it wants to be, and it gets you into the fun almost immediately. And personally, I genuinely think this game could have launched at $20 and people still would have enjoyed it. But at $10? Yeah, I think it absolutely earns that price point. Vampire Crawlers might not be the biggest game, or the deepest game, but it's one of those rare games that genuinely feels like time well spent. And to me, that's worth more than people realize nowadays. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed hearing my thoughts on Vampire Crawlers, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. And let me know, what game do you think is actually worth the money? Because nowadays, that's becoming a harder question to answer every year.